Hello, Fort Worth, and welcome back to the Fort Worth Roots. This is one of our regular programs. You might be looking for our morning show. We haven't done that in a little while, but we are still here. Took a little break, but we're back at it, and we are at the State of the City today, and I've got Allison Docker with me with Fort Worth Green Space Champion.
That's what they say.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, that's right. The unofficial title.
Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Sure.
It's wild. We got photographers snapping shots of us. We got people running up and asking questions. And anyway, we're going to make it work.
Yes.
So super honored to be here. Shout out to the mayor's office and everybody that made space for us out here. This is really great.
This is exciting.
All right, let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about Green Space, Fort Worth Green Space Champion.
All right. So, well, and bear with me because this is my first podcast.
You're doing great already.
Rolling. But so Green Spaces, my background, I actually just joined the city about a year ago. My background is in landscape architecture. So Green Spaces have been kind of integral to my career, and something that I'm extremely passionate about. So being able to be here and serve the city and serve the mayor's initiative through Good Natured is kind of a dream come true, kind of a dream job. And green spaces are so important because it's essentially all the spaces between the buildings. It's the fabric of the city. It's what weaves us all together. It can shape our everyday experience, whether you're walking down the street and you're comfortable in shade, or if you're being blasted by the sun, or it can really just shape our everyday lives. And so how much you invest and care and plan and strategize these spaces is really important. Yeah. And really that's the focus of Good Natured, is to think, holistically about, our land and our green spaces and how we can, really plan for the growth of the city, because we are growing so fast. And we've got some amazing spaces already, and how can we build off that framework and create this, interconnected green space system throughout the city. So, and a little bit more. So green spaces are, kind of obvious things like parks and plazas. It's also trails and a connected network that way. It's also like floodplains and riparian areas and things like that. But it's also streets. Like, streets are every city's largest public space. And so when you really think about how those can become, places for people and not just moving cars, are
we talking boulevards and things like that?
Yeah. I mean, how do you move people? And everyone, interfaces with the street every day. Yeah. So, really thinking about how we design and plan and think about our green spaces is important. So,
has anybody looked at the big traffic circle over there, kind of close to the Fort Worth Magazine office, off of Camp Bowie and 377?
I'm sure. I'm sure we have.
I daydream about how you could use that space because it's huge.
It is really cool, and I think there's a lot of potential there. And our TPW, our Transportation and Public Works Department, has an effort going through moving 1 million, and so they're looking all over the city at improvement areas and how we can really move people, efficiently through the city, not just by, through cars, through multimodal transport and things like that too.
It's the first time I've heard that term before. Is that a new initiative, moving 1 million?
Honestly, being new at the city, I'm not sure when it started, but
it's just the first time I'd heard it was today.
Yeah, and so it's in planning process right now. Open Space and the Green Space team has been working with Kelly Porter and the team at TPW on that initiative through the trail system, taking a look at our trail system, and we're looking at a trail gap analysis. So where are those easy connections that we could focus improvements on and link? There might be 2 really amazing trails out there, but
together.
there's a block that's missing. So that's a low-hanging fruit we could tackle pretty quickly. And
have you identified some of those?
Yes, we've started to look at those. So yeah.
Now, what is a landscape architect? Is that what you called it?
I'm glad you asked. Yes, landscape architecture. So, landscape architects, I think, are often misunderstood. When I tell people what I do, they instantly ask me to design their yard and pick out their shrubs, which I'm quite capable of doing.
That's a landscaper.
Yeah, well, and I'm not, demeaning any landscaper as well. Landscape architects can absolutely help you design your yard and pick out shrubs, and we love to do those types of things. But we can also take a really big look at kind of a contextual scale, like citywide. My background has been in commercial design, projects like the shops Clear Fork, and other kind of commercial retail oriented. I've worked on projects that are extremely ecologically based and very in the natural kind of world, and then also very urban. So landscape architects are really the experts that help you think outside of the building.
There's more that goes into it than just the shrubs, too. You got to figure out how to get power to the things that are going to manage the irrigation system. And
absolutely. Yeah, and you have to think about this, like, it's space design, really, is what it is. And, when you walk into a well-designed space, people don't even really register. Like, there are things that you don't register. You just know that it's comfortable. Yeah. And you want to be in it.
Well, and I was going to bring that up a moment ago. You're talking about the attention that I think probably started with Amon Carter protecting the green spaces, right? I don't know how familiar you are with the history of protecting these green spaces, but Amon Carter blocked off a bunch of acres just so that Fort Worth would always have that.
Right.
And it continued, over the years. And I know Betsy Price was really big on the trails and getting people outside. And now it continues with you and your department and Mattie Parker trying to make sure that is not something that gets lost in the hustle and bustle of running a city, I guess.
Yeah. It's been awesome to see city leadership really kind of united in this effort. I mean, it's really kind of something that we can all agree on, which is not very common these days. And so we all care about outside and being able to go to the park or walk down the street or visit a neighbor and go for a walk or a hike or a jog or ride our bikes, and that kind of brings that's what I love about these spaces. It brings everyone together. It's places for community, it's places for family, it's places for friends. It's
well,
great.
and to your point, every time somebody has a protest, they get together in a green space.
Or a street.
So it really does. It bridges every gap you can think of. When you go to a new city, you're not thinking about the Applebee's, the Cheddar's, the chain restaurants. You're looking around, and the vibe that you're getting, I think, is just it's off the landscape. It's the green spaces. It is.
You're absolutely right. That's a good point. It's something I wanted to talk about too. It's our ecology here and our green spaces are so unique to our city. It's really one of the first things that visitors see is our parks and our open spaces and things like that, and our plazas, and it really sets the tone for the city, just the aesthetic of the city and how people experience it and enjoy it and find things to do. And I think that's really great. We really need to invest in our, ecological systems, because like our plants here are special, our trees here are special.
It's different than any other region.
Yeah, and it really sets the tone and the culture. I mean, essentially the land is our culture. I mean, it's why the city's here in the first place. The river. I mean, the whole, the location of the city along the river is, how Fort Worth got started.
Yeah, wasn't an accident.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool to start to see developers and the community. I think for a long time the trend was to kind of turn your back on the Trinity, and now we're starting to see development along the river and really capitalize on that. And it's a win for developers because it's a great return on investment. People want to be able to jump on those trails and ride their bikes and walk, and and it's also great for the city because those spaces are also extremely functional. Like it's our water, it's our drainage system. It can protect us against floods. It can get water out of here when it needs to. It's those green spaces also they clean our air, they clean our water. It's all very functional as well as lovely to be in. And so I think when you design with nature, it can absolutely help you, help our man-made infrastructure.
With what you have going on, your initiatives and your day-to-day workload, is there anything that you want the community to know out there? Is there a message that you're trying to push to the public?
Yeah, just the importance of green space and investing in them, whether it be parks or, I manage a program called the Open Space Conservation Program, and it is started, I think, back in 2019, way before I was with the city, and there's been an amazing interdepartmental group of staff working towards, creating this, and there's an open space report that talks about what open space is, what our goals are, what our mission is, and with the last bond, the open space project received $15 million towards the acquisition of spaces to be preserved as open space and natural areas. And
that sounds like a lot.
It is a lot,
Okay.
but price of property here is also a lot.
Yeah, right.
And so, with the bond money and a one-time allocation from our general gas lease funds, we've had about $25 million to work with in the last couple of years, and we've just about spent all of it.
Wow.
And our issue hasn't been finding amazing property to preserve. There's actually been a lot of property owners that are interested in selling for preservation. They don't want to see it developed.
Yeah.
Our issue has been funding. So we are on track to have spent pretty much all of that bond funding by the time we roll into the next bond. So I would say that, and we are planning to propose another proposition for $25 million for open space currently. We're about to start public meetings to get some feedback on that, and then I'll just, make the case that's why it's really important to vote in your, local elections, everybody.
Yeah.
So then, the city's able to move on projects like that.
And that's been my message for years, is just telling people, like, I know you see a lot of hype about federal elections, the president and all that, but
local is so
local
important.
is where it matters.
Yes.
Your vote matters so much more in the
Absolutely.
local elections. And so whenever people see green spaces on the ballot or as part of the bond package,
Right.
vote for it, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Excellent. Well, Allison, thank you so much for doing this with us here at Fort Worth Roots. Is there anywhere people can find more information? Is there a page they can follow?
Yeah. So there is Good Natured has a separate website that we're in the current, building process. I think there's a landing page, and we're working on, rolling out a bigger version of that soon. And then also the city has an open space web page, and I believe you can find that through the Parks Department currently.
Okay.
And I could send you the links and information if you're able to send
and we'll
all that
put that
out.
in the show notes so people can see that as they're listening to the episode. They can just go to the show notes,
Perfect.
find the hyperlink.
I'll do that.
And if it's not clickable, folks, just highlight it, copy paste, and works just fine that way.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
okay.
Yeah,
and thank you.
And if we can ever help you get the word out about anything, whether that's a post on social media or getting you back on the show before maybe a bond election or whatever,
Okay.
let me know.
That would be great.
Okay,
All
Allison,
right.
thank you again.
Yes, thank you.
Folks, we've got more interviews today with people at the State of the City event. So I think we're probably going to do these separately just to keep them short for you. But we've got City Manager Jay Chapa, Kelly Porter, and Mayor Mattie Parker, hopefully after she gets done talking to a bunch of people while we stuff our faces. So, all right. Thank you, guys, and we'll talk to you later. All right, folks, welcome back to Fort Worth Roots. We are at the State of the City, and I've got special guest today, City Manager of Fort Worth, Mr. Jay Chapa. Jay, how are you today, sir?
I'm well. Thanks for having me on. I'm
Absolutely.
excited about this.
I was just telling Jay when he sat down, this is the safest he's going to be all day, is sitting behind the table with the on-air sign illuminated. So
Yeah, nobody should come forward, right?
Oh, that's the idea. Last time we got a chance to talk, we were at City Hall, and I think you'd just gotten the sling off of your arm, but you said your shoulder's doing good, you're back to it.
Yeah, actually it was my bicep, and bicep tendon was replaced or reconnected, and everything's healed okay, and I'm back to normal activities, which is great.
Excellent.
Without much pain.
Do you have a sport like racquetball or golf that you play regularly?
Yeah, golf, and then just trying to do some weightlifting, but not anything really heavy. Now I just started that. I couldn't do that for a while, but I started golf about a month and a half ago. Got the green light, and my game's horrible, but hopefully it'll come back at some point.
Do you have a favorite golf course around town?
I play with a group of guys, and we move around course to course. My favorite's probably Rockwood City course, but we move around to public courses primarily.
Okay.
And so the 4 city courses, now that we have Meadowbrook open, I don't know if you've been there yet.
I haven't.
It is beautiful. They did a great job with the redo of it, and it's a tough little track.
Excellent.
It's competitive. So
Something to help you hone your skills in.
exactly.
All right, I got some questions for you here. We wanted to focus on city business, such as the recently passed budget and the 2026 bond proposal.
Sure. So, yes, City Council approved my first budget proposal of my city manager tenure, and I want to thank them. And I want to thank the public. We went through and had 10 public meetings around the city as we went through the process, and had good turnout, got good feedback from the citizens. And overall, I want to thank them. I thank the city council in that basically the budget that was proposed by staff was accepted. There wasn't any changes. I did try to focus on being able to lower that tax rate just a little bit to offset costs associated on the utility side on fees that you basically get on your water bill, all the different types of fees, because like everybody else, inflation is going on, right? A lot of inflation. We needed to make some adjustments there so we could keep the level of service that we've had before.
Right.
And so overall, the average household will see an increase of about $3 a month in their utility bills, but they'll see a reduction of about $1.80 in their property tax bill.
Okay.
So overall, it's an increase of about $3.
Yeah. Did everything you could to keep it kind of
a balanced Exactly.
Yeah.
And but be able to prioritize the things that we needed to. The budget on the general fund side did go up close to $40 million, but 70% of that is tied to public safety, bringing in the MedStar, the whole ambulance service into the city, plus police and fire pay rates that are tied to contracts that we have already in place. So I think it's a solid budget overall and keeps the priorities correct.
Yeah. I've gotten some negative feedback from friends of mine that got tired of me always bringing up the big MedStar changeover, but I think it's such a phenomenal thing that Fort Worth Fire Department is now chiefly responsible for our ambulance EMT services.
Yeah, they are. They're part of the fire department. All of those employees that we brought over 500, plus hiring an additional 50 or 60 folks. So 600 plus positions are now part of the fire department. They're technically now part of the fire bargaining agreement, and so they're treated like all the rest of the firefighters. And hopefully over time, as we start syncing up everything, we're going to have much better response times,
right,
and more effective, and be more efficient overall.
Now the dust hasn't completely settled from that, but have you noticed any kind of positive or negative changes since the switch over from MedStar to
I think
fire department?
Yeah, one of the things that we noticed is, so July 1st was the actual transfer date when it came together.
Right.
So we're only a few months into it. And so there's some gaps that we're finding as part of this that we're needing to make sure get filled completely, right, on both sides. Mm. But I think the efficiencies, especially on the call taking and the response on the front end, is starting to get better and better as those teams work together. So we co-located before you had the city's 911 in one place, we had MedStar at another place. Now we're pulling them together, and there's going to be some efficiencies that already come out of there. We haven't met our goal of getting to 10 minutes response time 90% of the time. We're just a little bit over that. That's the first goal, and then we want it to get better as we go forward. We're a little bit above that, but I think 3 months in, we found some of the operating styles on MedStar side that really aren't compatible with how we do things. So we're having to make sure that folks are trained up on their side to be more effective and efficient, so that it works in the overall system correctly.
Yeah. Are there any other major U.S. cities that do that?
There's others that may do it, but they have always done it. So we're the only U.S. city that has taken on, that I know of, that taken on the transition of bringing an outside in when we're this large already.
Yeah, that's why.
And we also support, another 14 cities as part of it.
Right, our member cities.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't forgot about you guys.
On the bond side, I just want to mention, I want to tell everybody to go out. We start on Monday with the first of 10 public meetings through each council district, one at each council district. The presentations are citywide, but they'll be hosted by council members, individual council members. If you have questions, if you want to learn about it, you should go to one of those. They're also going to be available online. So if you find where they are, you can just log on and watch them that way. And you can provide feedback, ask questions. But overall, the goal is we're going to have a bond election. Hopefully the council approves it to move forward in May of 2026. And I just ask everybody to go out and vote. and vote. Get informed on what we're asking to be approved, so that we can keep the city moving forward, keep up with growth, rehab some of the older parts of the city, and move us forward.
Is Green Spaces going to be part of that?
Green Space is part of it. $25 million is part of the overall Parks and Green Space program, is designated for future green space to be either partner with other entities so that we can put money together to get larger areas, or so that we can buy properties that become part of the city's green space area.
Outstanding. Last question, and then I'll get you out of here. And by the way, thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy today. Police Chief Eddie Garcia, was that a good choice or bad choice? Go.
Great choice. He's actually already doing some things that from a non-police person outside looking in, I always had questions, and he's actually already tweaking a few things in the organization that I think are going to be positive long term. He's engaged. We have a few initiatives that we've talked about doing at the city, and that I brought up to bring forward, and he's already done it, so he's providing some really good feedback.
Outstanding.
His experience in those other large cities are great. And then the other part of it is he's just so well respected. When he comes forward and talks to his staff, talks to other entities or agencies, they respond.
Nice.
And so the morale is already, I see it getting better, and I see a kind of a step, a nice step in everybody that I've run into that are part of the police department.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Been a really good choice. Okay, excellent. And while we're on the subject, I just got, and I'm biased, I know, but we have the best, police department and fire department in the U.S. Man, I love our PD and our FD. We got a lot of good things here in Fort Worth, but that's one of the top reasons that you should want to live and raise a family here in the city of Fort Worth.
Well, and I agree, and I think it's a reflection of our community. Our community supports the police department, supports the fire department, and because they do support them and see them as being valuable to the overall city, the reflection comes back from those individuals that are police and firefighters, police officers and firefighters, and I think it all goes hand in hand. I always say that nobody wants to live or visit a city that's not safe.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the core mission of the city. And I think the fact that the community supports it the way they do really makes a huge difference in how the actual performance of those organizations.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Let Chief Eddie Garcia know that we want to get him on the show real bad.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Well, Jay, I'll get you out of here. You can hide behind this table as long as you want. But
I understand. I'll try to make a quick getaway before anybody grabs me. But I appreciate it.
You're running a great
Thanks
city,
so much,
Jay. Thank you so much. Can we get you back on the show later?
Sure.
Okay. All right,
Sounds
folks.
Good. Thanks.
Welcome back, folks, to Fort Worth Roots. We are still at the State of the City. It's a big how do you do red carpet thing. It's a lot of fun. We've got 2 episodes before this. Allison Docker with Fort Worth Green Space champion. Jay Chapa, Fort Worth City Manager, so go check those out. And right now we're sitting here with Kelly Porter. He is the Assistant Director of the Regional Transportation Planning and Innovation Department, correct?
Assistant Director for Transportation and Public Works, and I'm over Regional Transportation and Innovation in that department.
He was trying to get me lined up before we hit record, but now we've got it squared away.
Hey, we're doing good. We're doing just fine.
So tell us a little bit about what goes into your position and kind of what your day looks like.
So, well, my day is not the same. I can tell you the things that happen every day as I commute to work and I go home.
Just like the rest of us.
Yeah, and I have to eat something every day. But the days are never the same at the city, which is fun because we're dynamic, we're growing, we're in a dynamic region. We've got a lot of really cool, exciting things going on. A lot of my day-to-day is really been around transportation project development, which sounds super wonky, right? That just basically means, that I am working with our other folks in the department and our other regional partners, such as other local governments, suburbs around Fort Worth, the NCT COG, North Central Texas Council of Governments, who's our regional transportation planning entity, and project development and funding entity, and then Texas Department of Transportation and the railroads.
Okay.
So a lot of folks I coordinate with to try to identify our mobility needs, and then my goal is not just to identify them, but guess what I'm trying to do? Get them funded and then get them ready to go into full design and construction.
Okay.
So I'm the man that's trying to get everything teed up and set up for construction and design. So I do all the coordination, a lot of the funding profiles for the projects, and get them what we call ready for delivery. And that's really critical to the city. And this is the first time that the city's really kind of had this role with transportation and public work, or period. But it's really needed for transportation and public works because every other transportation delivery or any capital project delivery agency has this readiness function in it, and it's just mission critical if we want to see things delivered well, on time, and on budget.
Well, in a city as large as Fort Worth, and I've got a little tidbit here for you, and you tell me if you knew this. Where did it go? Oh, I bet I know where it's at. Hold on just a second. The size of Fort Worth is a little bit astounding. Did you know that Fort Worth is 349.2 square miles and covers about 223,488 acres?
I actually did know that. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about getting around that massive space, which, by the way, is a little bit smaller than Dallas. I was interested to find that out. I thought we were, as far as acreage, larger than Dallas, but we're not. But we are undeveloped more than Dallas. We've got a lot of open spaces. And I think for most cities, the light rail system, in conjunction with buses and everything else, is something that really helps alleviate some of the stress of getting around the city. So can you tell me a little bit about any kind of plans that might be coming up with light rail? Is that something that we're still interested in as a city?
So I think one thing we have admitted as a region, because you take Fort Worth itself and you've got about 1 million people in it, there's another, 2 million or so people living around Fort Worth in the suburbs.
Yeah.
So Greater Fort's about 2.9 million.
Yeah.
When you start to think about where we're going as far as growth goes, we're expecting that population to grow up to 4.3 million. So it's like taking Tarrant County and all the counties kind of around us into the west.
In what time frame? 4.3 million within
25 years.
25 years? Okay.
Which is a lot of people, because that's basically adding another city of Fort Worth.
Right.
And then some to our population, another couple cities of Fort Worth to it. It'd be kind of along the lines of probably adding like a Houston to our population.
Right.
You think of Greater Fort Worth, Dallas, and I'm from Fort Worth, so I will call it that. This is hometown. So, you're talking about 8 million people in Dallas, Fort Worth, growing to be about 12 million by 2050-ish or so, 12 to 13 or so. That's like adding the city of Los Angeles to our population by then in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Because remember, it took Los Angeles several decades, not a century, to get that big.
Right.
So it's a lot. So we know, I say all that to say, we know that we can't move people and goods around the city without having a robust transit, pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure, as well as a very good technological infrastructure, because we're also looking at broadband and getting things delivered to you as a form of transportation.
Right.
That is so critical to this whole issue. So absolutely, we're going to be looking at different ways to move people around our city and connecting us to that broader region as part of the work. And so something we're doing is a master transportation plan now that some folks have heard. The tagline of it's moving a million, but it is a master transportation and capital program that sets out things for this next bond that y'all will be voting on in May of 2026.
Okay.
And then we're also looking out at 10 years of projects as well, because what that's doing is helping me understand, okay, I know I need to deliver these projects the next 4 years, but I need to be getting the next set of projects ready for the 10-year period. And so we've already started on that as a department with Transportation Public Works. But the plan as a whole will be looking out 25 years at additional needs that may be coming up as opportunities come. So those will be a suite of course, your roadway, your ped bike projects. We're also looking at freight-specific projects, because everybody wants their Amazon packages and groceries delivered to them. They love that convenience. Yeah. And then we're also working with Trinity Metro as they're starting to gear up on some of their longer-term strategic planning work going forward. So we know transit's going to be a big part of the future, as well as these other modes and technology or whatnot.
Man, that seems overwhelming. It's so much.
It's a lot, but, I'm up for the challenge. But we have this project development that we're doing, and this role that my team has. TxDOT calls it, I believe, transportation planning and project development. COG has the NCT COG, the regional entity, has a project development arm. But any sort of kind of Department of Transportation, like Transportation Public Works, has this component to get us everything, identify our needs, and then identify what we can do and deliver those projects on time and on budget. So this is mission critical to this department and the city's mission to keep the city goods and businesses functioning and moving.
Yeah.
And, you know, when people say, are we going to make, is transit there to make congestion better? It's there to really provide an option for you to be able to not have to just be dependent on a single occupancy automobile as an option. Something that, you know, we're in agreement on. We also want to make sure that whatever systems we have out there is going to be time competitive. We've done a lot of surveying through this process to where it's less about how fast you're going from a speed standpoint. It's more about how fast am I able to get there.
Yeah.
So we've talked to people about, you know, hey, if we're able to time the lights and you're going, you know, would you rather go 25 average speed at 25 miles an hour with time lights, or would you rather have the speed limit higher but you're hitting red lights? What would you rather have?
Well, obviously, the best case scenario is to move through it without stopping.
It's to move
even
through
at
without
a slower
stopping,
speed,
because your average speed could be higher than the road with the higher speed limit. So would you rather get there in 20 minutes going 25 miles an hour, or would you rather get there in 30 minutes going 50 and hitting, you know, each light or whatever? And so that's how we're rethinking our system, because a lot of it's not just about new capacity that we need out there. A lot of it's about managing the existing system we have and maintaining it as well as possible. So a lot of things in this Master Transportation Plan are two primary, or I should say we have 6 goals, but our top two goals are safety, and that's why we have that Vision Zero safety action plan that was just adopted that's part of this planning effort. And then it's system maintenance and preservation and maintaining the system. Yeah. Fix it first is what we're calling it. So
be a little more proactive.
It's being a lot more proactive, right? A lot of things you're going to be seeing are us thinking about railroad grade separated crossings. So you're not sitting at the railroad. That does all kinds of benefits for safety, emergency response, and a whole host of other things in addition to congestion or whatnot. And also gets goods movement. Yeah. You know, it's a big part of our economy here. And so we are thinking more robustly about how we function as a city of 1 million people, because this is a big leash now.
Yeah,
You know, it's are we number 11? Are we number 10? We don't know yet, but let's just go ahead and say we know we're going to be a top 10 city, if not already. And so we got to start. What does that look like? How do we remain competitive? How do we think and develop projects like a world-class city? And that's what we got to do. We got to be on time, on budget, and ready. Yeah. And you know the saying, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's right.
And so that's really what this Master Transportation Capital Program, Moving a Million, is really doing. Is keeping us ready. And it's got us locked in with our capital delivery team. So project development and capital delivery, they're the ones that do the engineering. It keeps us locked in together so we can move things forward. And that's what water does, the water department does. That's what all of our infrastructure departments do. And so this is really us kind of taking that lead to make sure that we keep the city moving. Outstanding,
man. It looks like they're about to fill us all into the big room. But before we get out of here, is there anything that you want the public to know as far as everything we talked about today? Is there a link that they can click on? Is there a social media page that they can check out?
Sure. If folks want to see more information about the city's Master Transportation Plan, go to www.movingamillion.org.
Okay.
And that is a hub site for not only this broader Master Transportation Capital Program and Network program that Transportation Public Works is doing. It also takes you to some of the other studies and projects that we have going, like the East Berry Street corridor. We have a project we're doing on McCart. That's a capital project to look to improve that south of the loop. It's got our safety action plan on there, and it'll have a lot of good information on there. And as we continue to do our work with Trinity Metro and other partners, we're going to keep adding that. So that's kind of our hub for all things transportation related. And we know transportation is a hot topic, and we're just happy that there's the vision by our city council and city manager's office to allow us to be so proactive in how we do our capital programs.
Yeah, excellent. Well, it sounds like they got the right man at the helm. Kelly Porter, everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And anytime you need us, we're here for you.
And just to say this, too, make sure folks come out to our open houses in the next week. We'll be doing open houses over the end of October and as well as over the beginning of November. Talk about our capital program, which is the bond. Also this transportation capital program that I'm talking about. And then also there'll be some spaces over there for some of our other projects going on. But TPW is going to be focused on transportation capital and stormwater.
Okay.
It's still interesting. Don't worry.
It
it's
is,
fun.
yeah.
Come share your
Are there going to be
thoughts.
hors d'oeuvres?
I'll make sure I have some there for you. If I could have some brisket, I would.
Outstanding. And this is the place for brisket, too.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. Next up, we're going to have Mayor Mattie Parker in the hot seat after she gives her I don't even know what's going to happen in the next room. I guess she's going to tell us how things are going.
She's going to tell us how things are going, all the wonderful things that have happened over the last year.
Yeah.
So Fort Worth is a city on the move.
It certainly is.
Absolutely.
All right. Kelly Porter, everybody, thank you. And can we get you back on the show sometime?
Absolutely, anytime.
Welcome back, folks. And we are continuing our State of the City episode. And we've got Mattie Parker.
What's up, Andrew?
We've got Mayor Mattie Parker. What's wrong with me?
You're still stuck with me. Man, how many hours have you been here?
This has been great.
Okay,
it's always an honor doing anything with you guys, but, there's something special about State of the City. This is the big event for the year, I feel like.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it feels like it for me, right?
It's our Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but the Chamber, and it's important to support our Chamber. This is a big event for them every year. A long legacy of mayors that have put this event on, and so I hope to be a part of that too. And it was a good event today. Great turnout, good energy in the room. I got to really showcase some awesome people that are in our community, from the Fort Worth Opera to William James Middle School Orchestra. So all in all, I think it was a successful day. I was glad you were here.
This is, and it's my honor. Thank you so much. This is the best feel-good moment for the city. You know, there's so much happening in our city. It's growing super fast, and sometimes we get kind of caught up in the noise, but this is an opportunity to take inventory of all of the wonderful things that are happening in the city of Fort Worth. And I feel like y'all did a really good job, especially with your speech, highlighting all of the, maybe not all, but a good cross-section of
Well, it's
of what's
always
happening.
hard, when you're giving a speech that's longer form, but you still have limited time, and try to tell stories that we think are really indicative of who we are as a community, and hopefully that shined through today. And we'll obviously it's broadcast. We'll make sure it's available on every channel, so you don't have to have been in the room. You can still hear the content. And the work that we've done over the last year in the city of Fort Worth, I think, is really reflective of where we are as a city. Yes, today, but where we want to go in the future. And so an opportunity to tell stories that are specific to people and individuals that are making the city so special was an honor to do that too.
Yeah, and the one you did with Unsung Heroes.
Yeah.
You almost made me cry. So
well, I definitely cried when I went to Castleberry. First of all, they have this world-class mariachi band that was there to surprise their teacher. So that was a lot of fun. I was glad that I got to highlight some teachers that are just doing their thing every day, right? No one notices them necessarily other than the kiddos in their classrooms.
Right.
And it's fun to recognize them for important work.
Yeah, I know they appreciated it. And honestly, our teachers, they just don't get enough.
They do not.
In general.
Yes.
So wanted to talk to you about if we could focus a little bit on I'm messing this up, could focus more broadly on what Fort Worth is getting right in this moment of historic growth that our region is experiencing. I have some notes here. So
yeah, I mean, you could point to a lot of things we're doing right, but all in all, when we talk about growth, Andrew, it does come with a certain heaviness, meaning, gosh, there's so much to do. There's so many people moving here. Right. How do you make sure you take care of them all? We're also a sprawled city, 350 square miles. And I say that statistic a lot because it is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But we're also a part of North Texas. So Fort Worth's growth also is weaved in with what's happening in Arlington and Dallas and Plano, Frisco, all across North Texas. And so the one thing that has kept the region focused and moving forward and having all these individuals move here and businesses move here is, I think all in all, we're focused on quality of life. Fort Worth maybe even more so, but in particular all of our cities. And we also partner well where we need to as a region. We have really great examples of that. Probably most notably is DFW International Airport. You're thinking about when that airport was created, where it is today is the third busiest airport in the entire world.
It's its own city.
It's wild, the amount of infrastructure on the ground and development. But importantly, that attitude of partnership to get things done. Let's just take transportation, for instance. When you see a major transportation project in Fort Worth, it likely included partners from the federal level, TxDOT, North Central Texas Council of Governments, Tarrant County, RTBW staff, private sector. And to keep all of that moving does require you kind of have your head in the game all the time and the right expertise at the table to keep growth moving in the right direction.
I think that's one of the things that people just do not understand. You wouldn't know unless you know, but there could be a roadway that is 2 miles long, and 4 different entities own that roadway.
Absolutely. It can be very confusing, the amount of planning that goes in. And honestly, Texas is growing like crazy. So we're competing with limited dollars across the entire state as well, and also private sector capacity. So it can be complicated, but we are blessed to be growing, because when you're not growing, you're dying as a U.S. city. You're trying to hold on to population. Your problems are much more complex because you don't have a future that looks as bright as it does in Fort Worth. So I know it can be hard to take in sometimes as fast we're growing, but at the same time, it's really a positive thing.
Yeah. It's something that keeps coming up, is you're either growing or you're dying, and there's no in between.
And we never want to be just any city USA. We still need to feel like Fort Worth. And I'm curious, kind of your perspective, interviewing people from all over the city too. Our neighborhoods, the areas of our community, the developments that are happening, they still feel individual. They still feel really unique.
Yeah.
They wouldn't necessarily just fit in any city, and I think that also is really important in the Fort Worth's future.
Yeah, we do have a very eclectic community.
Yes.
There's a little bit of everything.
Yes.
And somehow it all kind of works. And some of the statistics that you were throwing at us during your speech were surprising, and made me feel better about Fort Worth as a whole. We're really making good progress in every direction.
Yeah.
Crime rate, violent crime is down. Education is improving already. I know we've had there's been a bit of a rough road there with some of the stats coming back from education, but it's improving, and everything is just kind of getting better. And it's not because it's just happening. There's a lot of planning, preparation, and good leadership that's making that possible.
It's a legacy of leadership at every level, and everyone in this room today plays a part in that too. They may not have to deliver the state of the city, but they're a part of the state of the city. They're part of the stories, which is why I asked for more stories. We can talk about that in a minute, like getting your listeners to submit great stories across the city, and the things that you're seeing is so important.
Yeah.
Because I want to be the ambassador. I want to tell those stories both here in Fort Worth and across the country about our successes. But when it comes to really progress and where I see the city going, everyone seems to understand the moment we're in for the most part, and the importance of us all leveling our game, and also being excited. There's nothing wrong with being joyful, and being excited about the future. And Fort Worth has always been really, really terrific at that.
Yeah, and you're right. It is. Everybody kind of instinctively feels that we're at a pivotal moment. Like it
does feel like
matters
that,
right now.
I think so too.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, with the recent attention that we've gotten through the media, Taylor Sheridan, of course.
Yeah.
And everything that film has brought to Fort Worth, along with economic development, and it's exploding right now. It feels like it's exploding at the seams, but somehow our infrastructure still feels solid. Like we're not hurting.
Well, we have
some
really talented people on the infrastructure side to make all this work. I mean, billions of dollars in ongoing infrastructure projects on the ground in Tarrant County, and more being added every day. And that needs to continue, obviously. We have the right leaders in the right seats. I mean, at the City of Fort Worth, for instance, our Transportation Public Works Director, Lauren Preer, and her team are top-notch. We are really fortunate that she has chosen to put her leadership and acumen at the city level. You could put her in any major corporation and she would excel, right?
Just kill it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And our city management team. And that doesn't sound exciting, but it's really important. As you and I have talked about this before, as mayor, I'm the chair of the board of trustees of the council. And I have to rely on city staff that are the experts that have been really building careers for 20, 30 years to be in their positions.
Yeah.
And they also have to put the right people in the right seats on the right bus. And that's happening right now, and it's all clicking, and that's that legacy of leadership I talked about, no matter whether you're an elected official or in business or whatever it may be, all being focused on what makes Fort Worth a great place, and being bought in to keeping it that way is so important.
Yeah, and you're right. Maybe it doesn't sound exciting, but thank God there's people that do get excited by it, like you and your team and Jay Chapa, people that just really love what they do.
Yeah.
Because, I can't imagine doing your job. I can't.
Well, some days I would not recommend it. Let me be very clear. But as I said over and over again, this is our season of public service.
Yeah.
And this is not my calling, but I'm called to do this.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Sure.
Right? I want to be of service to my city. I want to be the person that's telling our stories and focus on pushing us forward and being a visionary leader, so that when I pass the torch to the next person, I've left it in really great hands.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, the people around me today that are working around the city feel that same way.
Yeah. Did Betsy Price have that same concern, making sure that she left the legacy to somebody capable?
Yeah, I mean, think about Mayor Price, Mayor Moncrief, Ken Barr, Kay Granger, Bob Boland. You keep going back in time. And that's just at the level of mayor. I could also go on a list of other leaders, elected and otherwise, that treat it as public service for a reason. It's not some foundation or building block to something else. It's you got to have a focus and recognize the importance of the role that you're playing.
Yeah.
And
because one bad egg it seems like it could really change the course.
100% could change the equation. Because if you're in it for the wrong reasons, if you're in it for partisan reasons, if you're in it because it feels fancy, gosh, you're just not there.
Yeah.
You know,
it really cause some damage.
It really would cause some damage. Yeah.
Let's see, where are we at? Policies and planning that are helping to maintain a high quality of life for residents. Did you want to talk about that?
Doesn't happen by accident. So policies and planning that happens in the city to focus on quality of life. Our quality of life theme, though, permeates through every single decision we make at the city of Fort Worth, which also translates in how we partner with business, private sector across the city. Is it a $500 million development? Is it a new street? Is it a new stop sign? Is it honoring Leon Bridges with street toppers? Right? Whatever it may be, like, it's quality of life. It makes us really recognize what a special city we have. But you got to focus on the basics. I talk about this all the time. Probably last time we were together, it starts with public safety. And we are incredibly fortunate to have wonderful first responders in every single department, from EMS within the fire department, police department, code. They're all part of the same team.
Right.
And that is different, Andrew, than other cities.
Right.
When other cities were defunding the police, we were funding them differently. Right? We were reevaluating priorities, and we were focused on what community needed. And it shows. And that's where we are today in 2025.
It really did show, 2020, that 2020 to 2022, when we were going through all of that bad stuff nationally, Fort Worth Police Department really stood up, and they said, we're not playing any games. And they didn't start anything that made situations worse, but they also weren't backing down from any kind of issues that might have seemed normal in another city.
And there's nuance to that. That's really hard work, a recognition that policing looks different in 2025. They're listening to community members. They're expanding efforts that really help neighborhoods. They've got the right specialized units. They've got incredible talent, which is awesome. In fact, I'm going to get my phone out to read this because Chief Garcia, this afternoon, while I was giving my speech, sent me a text, and he said, came through, in 2024, we had 1,035 applications. In January 2025 is what he meant, we had 1,098 applications. June 2025, we had 2,065 applications.
Nice.
We had over 3,000 applications come through the door for this next class.
Oh, my God.
No other city in America can say that.
Well, and
we get to recruit the best and brightest, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you get to pick from the top of the crop.
Yes.
But that's just a reflection of a very well managed and ran police department
support
in
from
the
the community.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
It is so different than any other place in America. But there's a responsibility come with that. You have to still focus on trust. I'm incredibly proud of our police monitor's office because Bonseal and her team partner with the department when we have issues in the department. They're that extra set of eyes working with management team. We've got one of the best police chiefs in the entire country, and Chief Garcia, his team. And again, to have over 3,000 recruits applied, to be like, I'd like to be in the academy, that's a big deal.
And that's it's a great PD, but having Garcia there and then immediately seeing those numbers jump like that's got something to do
and honestly,
with it.
Chief Garcia didn't have to come back behind the badge.
Yeah.
He was already in a management role in the city of Austin, and he'd have to give you his own story as to why, but Fort Worth was a big reason.
Yeah.
He saw this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to finish his career as a chief in a city that really was on the rise.
How long do you think we've got him for?
Being around him, he's boundless energy, so I think for quite a while. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I really do.
Well, we're knocking out of the park with police chiefs.
Yes, we've been really lucky. Yeah, and to have Chief Noakes pass the torch to someone like Eddie, and shout out to Chief Aldridge doing such a great job as interim, who's still in the department as a deputy chief. Incredible leadership all throughout the department. I could brag about our officers all day long.
Yeah, and that says a lot that he decided to stay.
Yes.
As interim, and then kind of got passed over.
Yeah, he can get to pick and choose when he wants to go. But he's got such established career and honestly such respect in the department. So it's people like him that make the department click.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Fort Worth Police Department and Chief Garcia. We'd love to get you on the show.
I bet he'd come on. Don't worry.
Let's follow up on the speech today.
Okay.
Any high notes that...
Well, I hope people were both excited about what's happening in their city, felt really uplifted, understood the connection of storytelling, and obviously ending with film and television production, the importance of our work in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I wanted to translate for a business audience. This is not just about a fancy new film or television or having movie stars here. There's actually an ROI to the investment,
economic
and
growth.
we're only getting started.
Yeah.
So I think that translated today. I really appreciated David Glasser, CEO of 101 Studios, taking the time to be here. I mean, that man travels all over the world.
Yeah.
Working with Taylor Sheridan and others, and I think his business acumen and focus and willingness to invest in Fort Worth really says a lot.
Well, and SB 22 getting passed was a huge boost.
Huge deal. I mean, you probably followed that issue for years. I've been now through 4 sessions working on it. Mm-hmm. This session felt different, and it was. We had huge buy-in. It was bipartisan. Everyone recognizing this was Texas's moment to really raise the bar in being the leader across the state of Texas, across the country, and Fort Worth, because we were already really well positioned, we can be number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll play the mayor in a Hollywood production?
Do you know how long you have to be on set? I don't know. I've wanted to be an extra, but I admittedly, as your mayor, it would be really hard for me to spend 8 to 10 hours on a set. Yeah. But maybe someday I'll get to do that.
I don't know how you do what you do.
I don't know. I don't know if it would work.
Yeah, I want to be an extra. How do we work that out?
You, Andrew, could be an extra. That would be fun. You should do that.
We could all do it. We
could all do it. Yeah, but the next few, you should sign up, and then you could do like a cool broadcast from after your part. Yeah, we'll look for you. It's like, where's Waldo?
I've messaged Billy Bob through Instagram, and shockingly, I haven't heard back yet.
Rude.
So,
I don't know.
What's
He's
up,
a super
Billy Bob?
fun guy, though.
I bet he is. He looks like it.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome, for sure.
Did you get a chance to enjoy the lunch that was served today?
I had no food yet. I did have some French fries afterwards. How was the lunch? Okay.
It was amazing.
Okay, good. I'll pass that along to Dickie's staff. What'd you eat?
It was brisket, right?
Okay, good. I'll pass it along. Good,
so good.
Good to hear. No,
yeah. Good
I had
dessert.
French fries and champagne afterwards.
I thought about that later because I was kind of thinking about what we were going to talk about, how this was going to go, and I was like, I bet she did not get a chance to eat.
I don't eat before I speak.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, I get it.
I want to get the burps.
I don't know. It's just like I want to be like it's like nervous energy. I don't eat first.
Well, let's get you out of here. I know you got a busy day. You've already had a busy day. You got more of a busy day coming up. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for what you do for Fort Worth. You're a storyteller. That's kind of what our theme was today.
And I love that.
And you're doing that for the city, and it's so awesome. I always love listening to your program and kind of hearing other new things that are happening. So thanks for taking an interest in city government, what we're doing here as a community, because to have other people really spread that message is powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just as excited as you are about the direction of the city. And keep up the good work. I know you get complaints all the time, but there are plenty of us that don't feel the need to shout, but we're sitting there going, good job.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
It could be way worse. We could have a mayor that didn't know what they were doing and didn't really care about the city.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I hope that translates. That's not me for sure. I definitely put my heart on the table. Yeah. And if I don't see you before then, happy Veterans Day.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate
that
it.
comes up on November 11th. Mm-hmm. We have a great parade. So anybody wants to come out?
I've been to that. I actually ran up on Buddy Calzada and threw one of my stickers in there. I was like, call me. And
you should come out and broadcast from there. There's some wonderful characters.
Yeah, I could set up right in front of City Hall.
I ride with some great people as a part of the Model T Club.
It's a lot of fun.
It's so good. Yeah. You know, some of those old vets, man, they tell some good stories for sure.
Anything you want to plug before we end it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yep. And we'll put the city's website in there so people can click on that.
Yeah, we can put clicks on the link to the speech.
You can see the calendar and all that good stuff.
Come see us, okay? Thanks, Andrew.
And can we get you back on the show sometime?
Anytime. Yes, absolutely.
Thank y'all for listening. We'll see you for the next one.